Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right. Taylor 500 Help, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. They are your go-to people for everything you need. Duct cleaning, your furnace, your air conditioning, your water heaters. Taylor Heating and Plumbing have been around since 1947. Make Taylor your furnace repair shop and your one-stop shop for water heaters with Bradford White water heaters. If you are looking to have your ducts cleaned and your furnace cleaned and make sure it's in working order for the winter months, call Taylor 500 Help. And if you're looking for a job, Taylor Heating and Plumbing is looking for home energy techs. They're looking for HVAC technicians, and they're looking for plumbers. So make sure you give Taylor Heating and Plumbing a call at Taylor 500 Help. If you're looking for a big old snowblower, because we're going to have a heck of a winter here in Rochester, New York, Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster, 195 North Avenue in Webster. Since 1969, providing Rochester and surrounding areas sales, service, and parts. And boy, do they. They are the go-to people for snowblowers. They got them. Chainsaws, they got them. Blowers, got them. Lawnmowers, they got them. All makes and models. And of course, Kimberly and Justin will help you out with whatever you need. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. They are where you go for snow blowers and all of the extras. And if you need your driveway or your business plowed this coming winter in Rochester, Express Sealers, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. If you're on the east side, Brian at Express Sealers, you know, he seals driveways, but he also does snow removal for driveways, residential and business. And if you want a contract, call him. He'll come over and you guys will, hash it out. And he will be over to make sure that you're able to get out of your driveway or have customers come to your business. Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, Irondequoit, Express Sealers for all of your snow removal needs. And make sure you support our advertisers here at We the People Podcast Network.com, because they support us and we could not do things without them.
It's Big Wednesday.
Hello.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny 55-degree Irondequoit, New York. Looks like we're having technical difficulties.
Kimberly just knocked her camera over.
I don't know.
She's a crazy whore, and he's just plain crazy.
I don't know what happened, but
Here they are.
I just broke it.
I think the feds just got her.
It's Kimberly and Chad.
All right. Yeah, that's one good way to wow, what happened there? Did it completely shut off even?
All right, so the feds let me
Should
just
I
update.
switch cameras? No? Am I on? I'm not even on though. I'll give you a minute. All right.
We hear Kimberly's voice.
Yeah, my voice is fine.
Oh boy,
so,
here we go again.
So I don't know what happened, but the camera just fell over. Did it come unhooked? Did it? Let me just switch mic. I'll just switch cameras. Can I switch cameras?
Don't buck the system, Kimberly.
Okay, all right. Well,
So, Chad, what do you got today, Chad?
Hey, listen, I did my podcast last night. I'm all out of material.
The camera just fell over as we speak. That's hilarious. And now it's not even working. So
nobody needs to see what you look like.
Did
Just
it
keep
come
talking.
unplugged, do you think? Something. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know what to do here unless I just switch over and share.
You got enough eye candy on the other side of the table.
Come share Tom's.
What?
Should I share your?
I don't share.
You don't share?
No.
All right. Okay, so here we are. It is the We the People Podcast Network. And of course, I am Kimberly, and I'm off camera right now only because I don't have a camera. So my camera fell over, and in the process of something came loose. And apparently I think this was really loose because people mess with it all the time. Not me. I don't mess with it.
No, of
but
course not.
Do we even know what that hooks up and goes to? Probably not. Who knows?
All right, listen, Kimberly, just stay in your lane over there and keep talking.
I know.
All right, let the
So it is Wednesday. I am being
Let's go,
joined by
Brandon.
you. You can see Chad. He's right there.
That's right, I'm here.
We have Chad Hummel, who is obviously the broker owner of Revere Realty and an attorney extraordinaire. And we have Just Tom. He is sitting across from me. And at some point in time,
I'll drink to that.
we will. I knew we shouldn't have done the podcast today. I knew it. I knew exactly. Okay. So today's show is called Ban Idiots, Not Guns.
Well,
Should I come over there for right now? Do you think I'll just swing my...
You can take my seat. Do you want my seat? I don't need a seat. I don't do anything anyways.
My voice is on camera.
Listen, you were on the radio for like 30 years. Nobody saw your face. Your
I know,
ratings
but
were
it's-
just fine.
It's weird. I don't know what's happening here. Wait, are we? Oh, there it is. We're trying. Where does it hook in?
Is that's what she said?
See, this is like what really happens behind the scenes. If something goes sideways, we just don't know what to do.
Do any of our viewers know how to hook Kimberly's camera back up?
Austin does. He's just trying to figure out where it goes in. And
That's what she said.
there we go. Okay. So I think I have no idea how it's going to look. Is it turned on?
Are we going to talk about guns today?
I think, yeah, ban idiots, not guns. And the camera's still not working.
Well, you broke it. Maybe you got to turn it on.
It is on.
How do you know?
And it,
Kimberly, come over and sit over here.
Push
I'm
the
gonna
button.
go-
Go sit on Tom's lap.
No,
no.
We're almost there.
We are almost there.
no, please don't sit on my lap.
Things are getting plugged in as we speak.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi.
Hey!
Holy shit, we can have
Hi.
a show now.
Oh,
Oh, there she goes. Hi!
I'm not touching anything. I have
That's
no
what she
idea how
said.
I look. I don't know what's going. Okay. So here I
Hey, look,
am.
hold on real quick though.
Yeah.
Right before he plugged the camera back in, we had 40 people watching, and now we have 6. So I don't know.
I can't
I don't know
even
what
tell.
that
I'm
means.
sorry about
but
that. All right. So here I am. Ban idiots, not guns. So I'm glad you guys are here. Glad the Patriots are here. Glad Austin is here. Glad everyone could join us. Let me just mention, let's pop right out of the box and say,
That's what
apparently
she said.
you want to take your kids to see Santa before we get into the gun stuff. And in Rochester, it's bad. It is a shit show of mega proportions in the city of Rochester, with 5 teenagers shot last night, and not one single iota of a conversation from the mayor of this city or the Rochester police chief. Apparently, they just disappeared. We don't know where they are. But something that's also disappearing, if you plan on taking your kids or your grandkids to see the Santa at the mall, apparently there is a supply chain issue
With Santa?
with Santa, and mall Santas are in short supply.
I think the problem is malls don't exist anymore.
Is
That
what
could be the first
Is that
problem.
what you think the problem
Have you
is?
been to Marketplace lately?
There it is. There's mall Santa.
Well, wait a second.
From-
Those poor girls just got vaccinated. They're screaming.
I know, right?
Santa looks like,
He
yeah,
pooped
well,
himself.
it's a Joe Biden.
Santa pooped himself. Santa has no idea where he is. He's probably drunk. Who knows? But yeah, mall Santa is in short supply. Thank you, President Biden, for this craziness that we're now having to endure. In fact, I guess so many people that had been mall Santas before in the past just kind of hung up their Santa hat. And honestly, everyone that was invited to come back, there were half of the mall Santas that have done it in the past that said, we're not doing it anymore.
So you're saying,
We're
Kimberly,
not being mall Santas.
so you're saying that my dream could come true?
You could be a mall Santa.
Oh, yes. I'm
Why
in.
wouldn't you be a mall Santa? I hope everyone comes back and watches. Are they coming back at all, or we just have 6? I don't know.
No, that was a joke.
Oh, it was a joke. Okay.
Mean, yeah.
No, I'm just asking the question.
Somebody's a little testy today.
So I know it's been a day. Can I just tell you? First, I got this email that I thought was a legit email, and I clicked on it and I tried to open whatever attachment it was, and it turns out it was not a legitimate email.
You're worse than just Tom when it comes to that stuff.
And
I
it
don't
was-
open anything.
and it was spam. But it looked legit. It said DocuSign because I'm expecting a lot of offers on a house that I have listed in Greece. So I'm just kind of waiting for all, and it looked like a legit offer that
So
was
you
a
got all
DocuSign.
excited, you clicked on
I
it.
clicked on it and it freaking wasn't.
You clicked on it, and it was the Erie County Department of Health.
Yeah, I'm still here. We said that yesterday. Oh, Teresa's still here. Yay. Glad you guys. Yeah. Well, the kids need their Vax cards to see Santa.
Oh, for
Good
sure.
point.
In
For
San
sure.
Francisco and in major parts of California, you have to show your Vax card and your children's Vax card to get into anywhere, restaurants, coffee shops, wherever you want to go, stores. Your kids in San Francisco must now show their vaccination card.
Yeah, that's America.
That is the epitome of stupidity right there. The epitome of stupidity. So the name of the show today is Ban Idiots, Not Guns. And the reason I want to talk to you, have a conversation about this is because there are a lot of idiots running around on the streets. There were some idiots last night shooting up Rochester.
I think there's more idiots running around in our government.
Well, there certainly is. I mean, they're certainly quiet though, aren't they?
Well, did you see?
They are certainly quiet.
I talked about this on my podcast yesterday, but did you see Joe Morelli and his bastion of men behind him yesterday at the Boys and Girls Club?
No.
Adam Bello was there. Damon Meeks was there. Malik Evans was there.
Oh wow.
And they
okay.
were there.
The mayor-elect.
Yeah, they were there to end gun violence.
Okay.
They were there to talk about the next laws and rules and mandates and orders that are going to end gun violence. And then last night, just a few short hours later, right around the block from where they were, 5 shootings began. 5 teenagers, right, were shot last night in Rochester.
5 teenagers, 2 separate shootings.
Yeah.
That's what we call in Rochester Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That is
those
Tuesday.
people didn't watch the news?
Yeah. Well, no, what happened is so we didn't pass the
Apparently not, Tom.
we didn't pass the laws quick enough. The laws that they're proposing include a 5-hour safety course for anyone who buys a firearm, handgun, long gun, and ammunition. So of course, had this law been in place,
Of course.
these kids last night when they went to Dick's to buy their gun and their ammunition to shoot each other in the face, they would have first been asked to take the 5-hour safety course.
So true.
They would have gone in the back room. They would have taken the 5-hour safety course.
Of course.
And then they would have walked out of Dick's and said, we've been cured. Now we're not going to go revenge the gang shooting from last week.
How stupid are these people?
Is the 5-hour
stupid
safety
is
course
Morelli?
at Dick's next to the golf simulator? Where do they have that?
How stupid are these politicians that got together last night that think even remotely the people that are causing all of the violence in the city is being caused by people with legal weapons? None of these people have legal weapons. Not one single weapon that is being used in city shootings is legal.
So-called legal,
I'd lay whatever money I have in the bank right now, which isn't much, but what I have,
$8.12.
I'd lay it down on the line and I'd say, I'll bet all of the money that I have that not one single city shooting was made by a legal weapon.
A legally purchased firearm,
registered,
legally purchased ammo,
exactly.
5-hour safety course, you name it. Whatever law that they want to pass, go back and show me, and this is to your point, I think, go back and show us one shooting, just one shooting in the past year that could have and would have been prevented by this new rule or law that you want to pass. It's so absurd. It's so absurd. And you know what? They're not stupid, by the way. What they are is they're sick, evil people that want to eliminate the Second Amendment. Plain and simple.
Ban idiots, not guns. Stop blaming the guns. Triggers don't pull themselves.
Yeah.
Triggers don't pull themselves. Those triggers weren't pulling themselves last night when 5 teenagers, 4 girls, 1 boy were shot last night in Rochester on the city streets. Rochester police said this afternoon more people under 18 have been shot this year than in the past 10 years combined.
Unreal.
Combined. 60 kids,
And it's-
teenagers. They call them Utes. 60 Utes.
I guess the New York Safe Act didn't work
Utes.
after all.
Apparently it did not. 303 shootings so far this year. 69 of those homicides. One more, and we set a record, and it's only November 10th.
And
We still have a month and a half to go.
Did you say 303?
303 shootings this year. I think like 75 stabbings,
Wow.
something like that so far this year.
So we don't have any laws against the knives though, then, because it's only 75. So at what point does, asshole Joe Morelli and Damon Meeks and Adam Bello, at what point do they get up in front of a camera at the Boys and Girls Club and start passing rules on you need a 5-hour course before you can purchase a knife? Because there's plenty of knives at Dick's and Sportsman's Warehouse, right? You go to these stores and there's an entire section of weapons that are bows and arrows.
Mhm.
There's an entire section of weapons that are knives, and there's an entire section of weapons that are guns.
Exactly.
So why do we attack the gun? Because it's part of our Constitution. And when you're a leftist and a progressive,
You want
your
to
goal
bring that down.
is to get rid of the Constitution,
Is to
create
destroy
tyranny.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really that obvious. I mean, if they're not ever going to address the root cause, and that's the poverty and the drugs and the sex and the violence,
Mhm.
if they're not ever going to address that in the disgusting, despicable school district and how it's administered, how education is administered in the city of Rochester,
Exactly.
it's administered by, okay, how much money can we get from the federal government
Right.
and spread around to ourselves?
Keep it.
Right.
Yes. For our own enjoyment.
Yeah. I mean, for how many, 6, 7 decades now? For 6 or 7 decades now, we've been funneling tens of millions of dollars into the Rochester City School District with no result, and then we blame the guns.
Right. Exactly. Can
Blame
we
the
show
guns.
that? Can we show the video last night? This is the scene where 4 teenagers were shot last night. I think we have it over on Clifton Street. Oh, shit is right. Oh, shit is right. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Now the cops have to stay in their car, right? Is that the new rule? Oh no, that's just at the school. Oh
That's
yeah,
just
yeah,
at the
of course.
school. Yeah.
Gotcha. My
Yeah.
bad.
Wait.
My bad.
While teachers are being raped inside
Yeah.
the school, the cops have to stay outside.
Correct. In
We
their
just
car.
want- in their car. They have to stay outside in their car while teachers are being raped inside the classroom. But that's
Just groped.
It's the idiocy.
Just groped.
It's just groped, right? Raped, groped. Doesn't really matter at this point, does it? So ban idiots, not guns. So last night alone, 5 teenagers shot, all under the age of 16. An officer was injured, and there was a police pursuit. Yeah, I'll tell you,
Shocker.
it's how's that Democratic City thing working for everyone? How is that working out? Let me ask you, because Rochester is not alone in this. I mean, Rochester is not the only city in America that's dealing with it. We know what Chicago's all about, right? We know what Chicago's all. When you hear ceasefire, like as it pertains to some kind of an agreement, when I say to you, Chad, when I say ceasefire, what are you thinking? Are you thinking Middle East, or what are you thinking?
I'm just thinking the end of a war.
Right? The end of a war,
a treaty. A treaty's coming.
I always think like ceasefire, Syria, somewhere, Afghanistan. I don't know, somewhere where there's big time trouble, terrorists,
Palestine,
ISIS, Israel, right? The Gaza Strip. I'm thinking ceasefire. This is of major proportions. No, Baltimore this past weekend had a ceasefire. Baltimore, Maryland.
that's
I've been there.
murder capital of the world, isn't it?
The final ceasefire weekend of the year in Baltimore ended with shots.
This is like the
being
Civil
fired.
War at
Yeah.
Christmas, right? I mean, don't they have a ceasefire on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, when there's a war going on, when there's hand-to-hand, historically
Right.
hand-to-hand combat, and all the soldiers,
Right.
they kind of give each other a break and they put down their weapons
Like
for
in
24
Vietnam,
hours.
right before the Tet Offensive.
Yeah,
right.
correct.
Oops.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
We didn't see that coming. But yeah, so Baltimore had a ceasefire weekend, and during that ceasefire weekend,
The Ravens played.
15 people were shot.
Wow, it would have been 50 though.
3 people killed during the ceasefire. So far this year in Baltimore, they have had 300 homicides.
So wait, who called the ceasefire?
The mayor.
Well, see, that's my okay.
The mayor of Baltimore.
That is, I'm glad you
a ceasefire in an American city.
I'm glad
in
you
an
have the story.
American city in 2021, not Israel or the Gaza Strip or Syria or any of those places in the Middle East where you think, oh, okay, ceasefire. Not here in America. In America, an American city, a ceasefire. Are you kidding me?
So that just proves that Joe Morelli is stupid. You were right. He's stupid because the mayor of Baltimore is smarter, because instead of doing stupid things like requiring 5-hour courses as a way to end the gun violence,
right,
she knows that all she has to do is get in front of a camera and call for a ceasefire, and all the violence will end, right? So why didn't Morelli go to the Boys and Girls Club last night and just call for a ceasefire? And then it'll just all end, right? Maybe that's what he'll do tonight. Their press conference didn't work yesterday. So maybe Morelli and Meeks and Evans and all them guys, maybe they can get up in front of a camera tonight and just call for a ceasefire. It's like a gun-free zone, right? Those work.
Right.
Just declare it a gun-free zone.
Well, look at Portland. That works.
Yeah.
Gun-free zone. Sure.
Yeah. It's unreal.
And by the way, Portland is down to 700 police officers. The lowest amount of police officers in Portland since 1986.
Maybe the chief of Greece can head out that way for a job.
Well, he'd have to put down the drink first. And I don't know if you've heard about, the surveillance tape. I think that's kind of hard for Drew.
It's been a couple updates to that story, huh?
I know, but serious. I saw that and I thought, a ceasefire in an American city. Is this where we are in America? Where we have 5 teenagers shot on a Tuesday night in Rochester, and we have a ceasefire in one of America's greatest cities, right? Baltimore is one of America's greatest cities.
The Emerald City, I believe, is what it's known as.
I thought that was in Kansas. I'm pretty sure the Emerald City, and I have the slippers to prove that I have been to Kansas.
Do I need to Google this live on air?
Can't we just give everybody $100 bill and say, don't shoot anybody this weekend?
Yeah, why don't we pay them not to shoot each other?
450,000. They can just come illegally across the border and get 450,000.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, right. 450. But anyway, yeah, ban idiots, not guns. But I don't know how you do that. How do you stop teenagers from shooting each other on a Tuesday night in the city of Rochester?
Apparently, they need to watch the news.
But none of these kids are watching the news. None of these kids have parents who care about them unless there's a payday involved. And I've got to ask, is there any kind of payday? Is Free the People Rock? Were they down there with Morelli and Mayor-elect, the mayor-elect last night? But I mean, I'm just asking the question. You don't have to look it up. I was just joking when I said Kansas, because the Emerald City.
No, I know, but now
Wizard of Oz. Okay.
Now I want to make sure I got this right. Oh no, Charm City. I screwed that up.
Charm City.
It's known as the Charm City.
Lucky Charms, Emeralds.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Exactly. So let's just be clear. The politicians don't give a rat's ass about people being killed on the street unless it's going to affect the numbers that come out and vote for them. That's the only way.
100%.
That the politicians, care. That I mean, that's it. It's just a way to get in front of the cameras for them.
Well, sure, Morelli.
It's just a way. It's a tactic.
Morelli's opponent, Laurent Singletary, right, just announced his candidacy for U.S. Congress.
Good point.
And so, of course, Morelli knows that is a very formidable opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to get out there.
Yeah. In fact, Morelli, I think it was a pretty close race, relatively speaking, his last race against local attorney George Mitras,
right,
who had zero political experience and
not a lot of money behind him.
Yeah, and he almost pulled off an upset there.
Yeah.
So what's Laurent Singletary, an African-American male who could pull a lot of votes from the city where, Joe Morelli traditionally pulls a lot of his votes from. Certainly, he probably crushed Mitras in the city last time around. So I think if Singletary gives him a run for his money in the city, I think it's game over for Morelli.
Yeah, definitely.
So now he needs to get in front of the camera. He had 15 people lined up to his left and to his right, and he gave this, bullshit speech about
mandates,
gun violence.
More of your freedoms being taken away.
Correct. That's all it is.
More of your freedoms being taken away, because that's all they're about. Yeah. They're about making sure that
everything you do is a crime.
Exactly.
It's just one more crime they're going to charge these kids with when they get popped for whatever they're already doing. That's all it is. It's
Right.
never going to stop what they were doing in the first place, and that is committing gun violence, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
They're going to commit the gun violence, but when you do catch them, it's just going to be one more crime that you can charge them with. Oh, you didn't take your 5-hour course. You didn't register your ammunition. You didn't buy it the way we told you to buy it. What? Again, I can't. I mean, you said it yourself. You just can't overstate it. What 17-year-old kid in the inner city who is in the middle of a gangbang war, turf war, drug war, which one of those kids is going to Walmart or Dick's or Sportsman Warehouse to buy their guns and ammunition?
None of them. None of them are going.
Never.
They're
it's
getting the
never
illegal
happened
weapons.
ever.
The responsible ones, Jim.
I'd love to know how
It's
many
never happened.
illegal weapons are in the city right now. If they just went through and did a sweep, how many illegal weapons could they find, and how many of those are involved in shootings and or homicides? I mean, it would be interesting to know, right?
Sure.
But these kids aren't going out and buying their guns. And these kids don't give a rat's ass about Morelli and all of his little, suck up politicians.
They don't even know who Morelli is.
They have no idea if you ask them.
No idea who Joe Morelli is and what he
None.
proposed last night.
None. But all Joe Morelli wants to do and his
Get on
minions
TV.
is get on TV and take away your freedoms. And if you can't understand that, then we can't help you.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Nor
Wait a
do I
minute.
want to help you.
nor
Is that
do
the
we
po-
want to.
Is that the point of the show? We're trying to help people.
But we're the bad people. I'm the bad person because I show a fake card at a Buffalo Bills game. I'm the bad
Allegedly.
person. You're the bad person because you go to your son's baseball game without a mask.
I'm just bad.
You know what?
Bad to the bone.
And that's what they want to do. They want to make good, hardworking, tax-paying Americans the criminals.
Yep.
They want to make the thugs on the street gang banging, causing harm, Antifa,
Victims.
free to the people rock, the BLM. They're all victims. We're all the bad people. We're making the money and supporting them, but we're the bad people. See, that's what makes me crazy. And if you think that it's going to get any better under Joe Biden, I would ask you sincerely to look at the gas prices today as opposed to 2 years ago. Can we see the gas price in, I'm not sure where this is, 47, almost $5.
It's got to be Cali.
Well, I mean, we're not far behind.
No, you're right. We're
I
not.
paid $3.59 today.
If it's
I
487
paid
at this
$3.94.
point, don't you just get the Supreme at that point? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
It's $5 a gallon.
517.
$5.17, $4.87. We can't live with prices like that, guys. And I
Well, they
will
just
tell
want
you,
you to buy electric vehicles.
And it's self-serve.
Raise the gas prices up so it makes electric vehicles more affordable. Cost of absorption of those
here's
vehicles.
the problem. Here's the problem with the electric vehicles. They only have a charge of 260 miles. And it takes 4 to 6 hours to charge them completely.
It's a
Okay.
little bit longer than at the gas pump, huh?
That's a little problematic.
So when is somebody going to invent automatic electric zap charging
And
stations?
in order to get an electric
Sounds like
hookup
an idea.
in your garage, and I know someone who's doing this right now because they have to have the newest
They bought a
gadget.
Tesla.
I love them, but they have to have the newest gadget. If it's bikes and all the stuff that comes along with bikes, or if it's a Vespa,
Like two
or
wheels.
if it's they have to have it, right? So they got this electric car. It only gets 260 on a charge. It's going to cost them $1,300 to get the electric hookup with the lines and everything installed in their garage, so that they don't have to go down to freaking Kodak Park and charge their electric car. And by the way, I can't imagine the cold weather in Rochester is going to do much for that charge. It's going to suck it
Yeah.
big time. It's the big suck zone. You know what a suck zone is? That's when your electric car doesn't have any power, because in Rochester,
I'm glad you asked and answered the question.
because in Rochester, we know
You
that it
want to
gets,
leave that one out there much longer.
we know it gets, but 487. And if the Democrats
Yeah,
tax and spend
It's a
bill,
bargain.
their Build Back Better America, which is stupid. Let me just tell you the combined federal and state marginal income tax rates for each state are listed below. In New York, the tax rate is going to be 66.2%.
Really?
The Democrats tax and
So
spend.
that means now we're working into August just to pay our taxes?
The Democrats' tax and spend reconciliation bill is, if enacted, that would give the U.S. the highest tax rate in the developed world and stick all 50 states with a combined federal state tax rate higher than 50%. New York, the highest at 66.2%, followed by California, New Jersey, Hawaii, and Washington.
Well, my
DC.
father used to say that taxes in New York weren't the highest in any one element, but we have every one.
We have every element,
so
right?
when you add up the fact that we have every tax ever invented here, because some states don't have income tax, some states don't have property tax. We have everything.
We have everything except for personal property tax. We don't pay personal property tax on cars, and I have in other states.
Well, we pay registrations,
but we pay
things like that.
It basically makes up for it.
Yeah.
So let's just show the inflation, because I do believe that consumer prices hit a 30-year high.
6.2%.
Yeah, consumer prices
You guys are
yesterday
smarter than me.
hit a 30-year high.
Stock
Look at
market's
that.
down today.
Oh my God, have you seen how much bacon is? Can we please get a
good
grip?
for you.
I'll tell when Tops has the sale, guys. I don't know, just a little tip. I mean, last weekend they had the, you could get like buy 3 get 2 free. I'm all about that at Tops. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I go right down to
I never could have guessed that you were a Top shopper.
I am not, but for the bacon, I'll go. And it's not bad bacon either. I'm just gonna say that. But if they have deals, but look at that. Bacon is up 20%, steak 24%, cereal, which is already freaking expensive, and the boxes are smaller.
Yeah.
All you can do is look at that and say, hey, thank you, Joe Biden. And you know what Joe Biden wants to do with the rest of your money? He wants to give it to the migrants that were separated at the border, which at first he says, no. You guys are spreading the wrong news. That's not true, but it is true. It is absolutely 100% true. Is it 450,000 or is it 350,000? That's what Joe Biden is disagreeing on. He's saying that the reporters have the amount wrong, but I'm sorry. The migrants came here of their own free will. Am I right? I mean, did anyone drag them at gunpoint over the border?
Maybe Nancy Pelosi.
To set up a tent city? Look at that. Were any of those people forced at gunpoint to come into the United States, hand over their kids, and say, take care of my kids?
Didn't they throw them over the wall to begin with?
Throwing them over the wall. But Joe Biden wants to pay the migrants separated from their children for $450,000.
That's not enough. Give them more. They deserve it. They earned it.
Yeah. I don't even know in my life if I've made. I surely have. But I mean, $450,000. Can you imagine what you could do with 400? You, a tax-paying working citizen, trying to make the country better.
It's monopoly money.
Could you imagine what you could do with $450,000?
I'd just go buy a boat.
Can we play Biden, Austin?
Where do you stand? You said last week that this report about migrant families at the border getting payments was garbage.
No, I didn't say that. Let's get it straight. You said everybody coming across the border gets $450,000.
The number was what you had a
The
problem
number
with.
I was referring to.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing.
Sure.
Here's
If
the
in
thing.
fact, because of the outrageous behavior of the last administration, you
When is he
coming
gonna start
across the border,
yelling?
whether it was legal or illegal, and you lost your
Here
child,
it comes.
you lost your child, it's gone. You deserve some kind of compensation, no matter what the circumstance. What that will be, I have no idea.
Holy
I have
shit.
no idea. Yes.
Is that for real?
Yes.
Wait a second, Joe. Wait a second, you incoherent, stupid son of a bitch. How
Yes.
about all of the parents who have lost their children, who have been murdered or killed in drunken driving accidents by the illegals that are coming across the border? How about the case that was just recently reported where the kid lied, he faked his way across the border, claiming that he was alienated from his parents or that he was an unaccompanied minor, right? I mean, let's use their stupid politically correct terminology. So that's a plug for Jose Pio's podcast. So the illegal comes across the border, declares himself to be an unaccompanied minor, and then allegedly murders somebody.
Yes.
A teenager.
Yeah, correct.
Somebody's kid, somebody's son or daughter.
Correct.
Is that family getting anything?
No,
No, they're going to get you know what they're going to get? They're going to get a
the
letter
bubkus.
from the coroner.
They're not. Yeah,
You know, they're going to get.
that's what they're gonna get.
They're going to get a call from the coroner that says, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, unfortunately, we think we have your 16-year-old daughter here. We need you to come down here and pull the sheet back and identify her. Are you freaking kidding
What
me?
about your dead Marine's wife? She only gets like
100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. That's what the payment is to a family, a parents or spouse of a dead soldier.
$100,000.
$100,000. And Joe Biden has the nerve. I mean, I don't care if it's $1 or $1 million, but how does he have the nerve to stand there and point his finger and get irate as if he's so passionately and zealously advocating for these illegals and doesn't give a rat's ass about the Americans that live here
Not
who are
one
being
care in the
harmed?
world. Not one care in the world.
Wow.
Not one. And by
That's
the
twisted.
way,
That's
those
twisted.
13 men and women that were killed in Afghanistan
Oh, yeah. On
That-
his watch,
under his watch,
at his direction, essentially.
because he foobarred the withdrawal
Yep.
of troops in
Yeah,
Afghanistan.
he announced it 6 months and then spent 6 months doing nothing and then just pulls the plug on a
all
whim.
in 1 week.
Yeah, pulls the plug.
All in 1 week.
Why is it that Joe, when politicians raise their voice, it's for effect. You want that. When he just sounds like get off my lawn guy now.
Yeah.
I mean, he raises his voice and he
Mhm.
just starts screaming.
It's called
But-
dementia.
He
Why-
doesn't even know what he's doing.
While we're paying $3.59, $4.59, $5 for gas, while we're out there trying to, find store shelves that aren't empty, while we're out there paying $9 a pound for bacon, if we can find it, Joe wants to give $450,000 to the illegals that came over and dumped their kids
It's all part of the plan.
because all they wanted to do was get their kids into the United States.
But why? And he said the why. He said the why is because of the egregious conduct of the prior administration.
But Obama was also
Which they've been
separating
doing it for
migrants
years.
at the border.
They built the cages.
So-
Biden built the cages.
So the question is, are they also going to reimburse the families that were separated at the border
Nope.
under the Obama administration?
Great question.
Nope.
I know, honestly.
Yeah, no, great
So,
question.
and by the way, I mean, so all of this I know blows your mind, but I mean, you got to get down to the nitty gritty where it affects people, and that's at the grocery store. And you think about all this money going to people that didn't work for it. They were coming over here knowing, probably that they were either going to be sent back, they could be separated, whatever, didn't matter to them. They just wanted to get here to this horrible country that all the Democrats think we're a horrible country, but all these people want to come here. But it's going to affect you in the pocketbook. It is already. I mean, we can see the prices. And I will just tell you that ballpark hot dogs
Ballpark.
and burgers and State Fair corn dogs and Jimmy Dean frozen breakfast items that my mother
Ooh,
loves.
Hebrew Nationals. That's what we buy.
Hillshire Farm sausage,
Seriously.
Hebrew National, and Oscar Mayer hot dogs are all going to skyrocket. All those things.
We used to be able
Or-
to get an 18 pack. That's all our kids ate for years was the Hebrew Nationals. We
Yeah.
used to be able to get an 18 pack of those at Walmart for like $11.99.
When are we going to just say no to
Stop
this
eating.
inept, pathetic administration? There's a woman. you
Kimberly,
see-
if there was an election tomorrow, it would be, like a razor thin margin again. Because half of America, if not more, is on the take
is stupid.
financially, politically, or just
Brainwashed?
stupid. Yeah, absolutely.
I honestly,
They're
I
getting
think
paid
people,
off and they don't want their checks to stop
I think
coming.
people are brainwashed. I talked last week. Some of those people that were, coming after me online, social media, calling me on the phone, whatever. Some of those people are scary. They have been drinking the Kool-Aid for so long that their brain is mush. I mean, some of the things that people were saying to me about, having a fake vaccination card to get into a freaking football game.
I told Tom to stop calling you and leaving
Honestly?
those messages.
I mean, no, you think about it, and these people think it's all for a good reason. There's it's going to end well. When we get to where we're going, it's
Oh,
all going
yeah.
to be fantastic. Okay.
Everyone can take their masks off after they get vaccinated.
$5 gas prices, fantastic. Store shelves that are empty, fantastic. All that's fantastic, right? And then you have, and by the way, you're listening to Kimberly's Revolution. You're listening and watching We the People Podcast Network.com, where you can buy a t-shirt. We appreciate all of our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Cooling. Call Taylor 500-HELP to have your furnace serviced, Precision Lawn and Garden for all your snow blowers, and of course, Express Sealers if you need residence or business snow plowing for the season. Express Sealers. We love our advertisers. Please support them.
Hey, those corporate profits the last 2 weeks have been up.
There's a woman that is Biden's pick to regulate banks, and basally she wants to dissolve companies that employ millions of Americans. And so her name is I think it's Sally Amarova. She's Russian. She was born in Kazakhstan. Right? She's Russian.
Uzbekistan.
And she's Biden's pick to regulate banks. She wants to starve the fossil fuel industry of funding. And you get this. Her name is Sally Amarova. She received the Lenin Personal Academic Scholarship at Moscow State University, for God's sakes. Right?
It's like Brockport.
Is that like the Johnny Foot Penis Scholarship?
Let's listen to Sally Amarova. I'm not making that up. I looked it up because I wasn't for sure.
That would be John Hancock for everybody else.
Troubled industries and firms that are in transitioning. And here what I'm thinking about is primarily coal industry and oil and gas industry. A lot of the smaller players in that industry are going to probably go bankrupt in short order. At least we want them to go bankrupt.
We
if
do?
We want to tackle climate change, right? For certain.
We want them to go bankrupt. We want the oil and gas industry to go bankrupt because it's all about climate change. Again, this is Biden's pick to regulate banks. There have been a couple of Democratic senators, thankfully.
Just a couple?
That have said she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh.
And that would be Senator Tester of Montana, Sinema of Arizona, and Manchin of West Virginia.
Right.
They have severe concerns about her, and they should. One, she's a professor at Cornell, so she's educating the finest and the richest. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a professor, that automatically means you're stupid.
At Cornell. She was born in Kazakhstan, and I'm not making up the fact that she received the Lenin Personal Academic Scholarship.
Which is what?
A free.
I didn't get one. I didn't get one of those.
That's a free ride.
If you're
Chad.
aware of Lenin,
I got a Pell Grant.
And if you're
Is that the same thing?
Basically,
Chad, I paid cash.
If there's a socialist here, she's on the left,
Yes,
left,
of course.
of the socialist.
Gotcha.
Why in the world would we ever have someone from Kazakhstan regulating overseeing the regulation of banks and the fossil fuel industry?
Sounds like a good idea. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? And I look at that and go, oh my God. I honestly thought it was, how on Twitter they have the Onion. I thought it was like
Babylon Bee.
One of those kind of joke thingies.
Yeah.
No, it's not. She wants to put millions of Americans out of work and is hoping the gas and oil business go bankrupt.
Makes sense.
And we're not worried about that. That's getting nothing on the national media
Well, at least
about that at all.
That'll bring the gas prices down, though.
Yeah, you think?
Down to zero, right?
So
I thought everything was paid for, Chad.
I want to show you hypocrisy at its finest. Of course, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene? Where is she from? Is she the senator from
Georgia?
Gorga.
Gorga.
She, right, as they say in Kazakhstan. She has been fined $15,000 by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for not wearing her mask in House chambers.
At her son's baseball game?
Yes, at the Buffalo Bills game. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene has been fired $15,000.
Fined.
What did I say?
Fired.
Fined.
Yeah,
$15,000.
We're not talking about your career. We're talking about her career.
Nancy Pelosi was at some kind of bougie billionaire wedding over the weekend. One of the Gettys is getting married. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
One of the Kennedys.
They'll probably be divorced in 2 years, and it'll be a big, tug of war for all the millions of dollars that the Gettys don't have anymore. But let's see the picture of Nancy Pelosi at this particular bougie billionaire wedding.
How come it was black and white?
Right there. not wearing a mask. But Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the other senators, while they're, in chambers or whatever, get fined if they're not wearing a mask. Look how close she is to all those freaking people at that wedding. That's a super spreader event, according to the Democrats, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? Nancy Pelosi doesn't have to follow the rules. She can do whatever she wants. And I will tell you, I mean, she's of sound mind as well. I mean, don't question her. She's got none of this Joe Biden, obviously she's losing it a little bit. Let's watch this video. This has not been altered, by the way.
So we are getting some bird and privilege. I think most of it are getting privilege scrub, because privilege scrub is deadless to a bill. Bird involvement is important. You have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. But when we pass the bill, then they will see it in its aggregate and make some messaging, because they have to take some of those things out regardless, no matter what you send over.
More sip of that whiskey.
But we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub. Exercises.
Oh my God.
I'm so stupid. Wow.
Adults.
We don't have anybody better.
Cognitively, that cognitive decline is the only way that you can describe this administration. We have a president of the United States of
They're
America
all old people.
that is cognitively on the decline.
I played a video last night of Biden, very similar to that, on my podcast. You want to watch it real quick?
Sure.
On the
Just-
heels of that, Austin, can you cue that up? Perhaps?
Yeah, give me a minute.
A minute? About 40 seconds.
Rich Martinez says, Nancy is that aunt at the family reunion that you tell other members of the family not to let her drink anymore. Exactly. And always smells like vodka. Vodka doesn't smell. That's the reason we drink it, is because you can't smell vodka. Perhaps the Greece police chief
I was
should
going to
have
say,
thought about that.
Yeah, you can't smell it, but you can see the sparks coming from the three wheels.
Exactly. Exactly.
It works
But
just fine.
that is Nancy Pelosi.
That's Nancy. She's looking good.
Not that.
Let's see Joe Biden on the
Okay.
heels of that.
Sorry, hold on one second. All right, here we go.
The Friday showdown. Soon we'll be delving into the latest from the most lockdown city in the world. But first, to the US, where the leader of the free world had this important message to impart.
Oh boy.
There you go, Tim. Thank you. Thank you, pal. AFL-CIO State President. And Jeff Isaacson, United Brotherhood of Carpenters, and Don Finn, IBW, and Robert Reiter, R-E-I-T, You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was on the television. I was on the telephone. At any rate,
Fucking guy.
Even
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, and by the way, I mean the Aussie is a little sassy, isn't she? I mean, why don't you do your country and we'll do our country.
Well, no, but you know what I said on my podcast was we
you actually did a podcast
yeah,
last
I did
night?
one yesterday.
Wow.
We
Wow.
actually need
Wow.
somebody from the media from another country to point this out, right?
Because our media won't do it.
yeah,
Our media won't do it.
Rachel Madcow and Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo and all these clowns are
Won't
not
do it.
They're not doing this.
Savannah Guthrie,
Yeah.
Oprah's best friend on whatever channel that is.
For
CBS.
4 years,
No,
we had,
none of them.
if you turned on CNN, all they were doing was chronicling every last mean tweet that Donald Trump had sent. Every single tweet. They broke it down every single night. And
But
our president and our speaker of our house literally can't put one coherent thought together.
there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when you look at stuff like that and you're like, that's concerning to me. It really is concerning. I don't know who's running the country. But it's not. But
somebody else.
it's not those two.
No.
They're not running the country. You have to ask yourself, who in the hell is running the country? I want to show you a picture of a prosecutor. And I mean,
prosecutor.
You're a lawyer.
A lawyer.
You're a lawyer. And so you have been in the courtroom before. Have you ever felt like this guy?
Just once.
Have you ever felt like that guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the judge is reading the contempt warnings to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're the contempt.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna go off the record. I'd ask everyone to leave the courtroom while I read Mr. Hummel his contempt warnings.
Have you ever beat up a court deputy, though? I mean, I know
I haven't gone that far.
You draw a line
I did
somewhere.
I draw the line there.
The Rochester Public Defender's Office encourages people to beat up court deputies. I hear
that's
what I hear.
Be the latest.
I hear in Rochester, if you're in the Public Defender's Office, they say beat up all court deputies that you can, and then we'll turn around and we'll blame the court deputies. Somehow
spin the story.
They spin the story to make it seem like it's a court deputy's fault.
Spin the narrative
for an outrageous public defender that's probably not even worth the money she's not getting, because public defenders don't get any money. Anyway, Kat is Jimagoo, right? I don't know what she's all about, but she needs to go away. Beating up court deputies because you don't like and can't get your way in a courtroom is ridiculous. That is not the American way.
What's going on with this prosecutor?
So this prosecutor,
you got to play Chad the video.
Brought charges against one Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse he is from Illinois, and he is some of his brothers. Him and some of his buddies last August of 2020 went to a protest that was happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And
was it a protest or was it a riot?
It was it was a protest riot. It was a riot protest.
It was an insurrection.
It was whatever you want to call it. But things got out of hand. People were hurt. People were chased. People were shot, and people died. And Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old, went over with a bunch of his buddies, had a gun and a medical equipment bag, because he wanted to be around in case anyone got hurt, right?
After he shot them.
Well, no. But anyway, things went sideways, and Kyle Rittenhouse is accused of gunning down 3 people with a semi-automatic rifle, killing 2, injuring 1. And by the way,
they were all white.
They were all chasing him, saying that we're going to cut your heart out. We will cut your effing heart out, and we will kill you, calling him the N-word.
Of course.
He's not black. Sense. They're not black, but they were calling him the N-word. So yesterday, the guy that was shot and survived, can we play that video testimony before we play Kyle Rittenhouse, who broke down on the stand today? And by the way, I mean, his life is in front of him right now.
Literally.
And why the prosecutor brought these charges, it's clearly self-defense. And the reason the prosecutor has his hand over his face is because of this video.
That's a photo of you, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
He's standing, that guy.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you'd agree your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And once your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, that's when he fires his gun. Yes?
No.
Sir, look, I don't want to. Does this look like right now your arm is being shot?
That looks like my bicep being vaporized, yes.
Okay. And it's being vaporized as you're pointing your gun directly at him. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were standing 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Game over.
They should have called it right there.
And you know what else?
They should have called it right there. They were
well,
chasing him.
You can't call it.
You can't call it. You can't say You can't say.
Motion for a mistrial.
Motion for a mistrial. Something.
No, it's called a directed verdict. If you want to get into the weeds, it's called a directed verdict, but that has to come at the end of the prosecution's case. In other words, the prosecution gets to finish their case, and then, and I'm sure the defense made this motion at the end, in any trial, in any criminal trial, and even in a civil trial, after the prosecution puts on its case, if the defense believes that even if everything is true, that was put on in the prosecution's case. Even if it's all true, it doesn't rise to the level of the crimes that are being charged. Then the judge has the authority to issue what's called a directed verdict.
Okay.
That's where the judge says, you know what? I've heard all the testimony, prosecution. Do you have anything else? No. Okay. So I can't let this go to the jury because the jury might screw this up.
Right.
Everything that was put before you, even if it's all true, does not rise to the level of a crime. Therefore, I am going to go ahead and dismiss the case now. Now, that's a strategy call that the defense has to consider, because anytime the judge issues what's called this directed verdict, it essentially takes the case obviously away from the jury, gives the prosecution the opportunity to appeal. So if you're the defense and you know you are going to win, you know your case is that strong,
Then you don't want to do that.
I guess you probably still make the motion because you have to protect the record.
Right.
Because if you don't make the motion, then it's possible that you could get, your client could get pissed at you, things like that. But at the end of the day, though, you'd rather just have the jury render the not guilty. If you have the crystal ball and you know the jury's going to render the not guilty, you'd rather just have that, because then case is over.
Well,
prosecution can't appeal that. Double jeopardy.
Kyle Rittenhouse was being chased by these three men, including the one that survived, and the one of them that didn't survive. They all had guns. One of them had picked up a skateboard and hit him upside the head. That's why he was on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you see the one guy that had his arm shot was holding the gun. And obviously that's, when he fired. But they were all chasing him, all with the intent, he thought, to do him harm. Because again, shouting, "We're going to cut your effing heart out and kill you, N-word." And then Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand today. Can we see a little bit of that? 18.
As I'm walking down Sheridan Road, I hear somebody scream, "Burn in hell," and I reply with friendly, to let them know, hey, I'm just here to help. I don't want any problems. I just want to put out the fires if there are any. I continue walking, and then I notice the Duramax. I notice a flame in the back seat of the Duramax, and I step towards the Duramax, and as I'm stepping forward, I believe his name is now Joshua Zeminski. He steps towards me with a pistol in his hand, and as I'm walking towards to put out the fire, I drop the fire extinguisher and I take a step back.
Okay. When you step back from Mr. Zeminski, what's your plan?
My plan is to get out of that situation and go back north down Sheridan Road to where the car source lot number 2 was.
And did you get back? Were you able to go in a northerly direction?
I wasn't.
Describe what happens.
Once I take that step back, I look over my shoulder, and Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side, and I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were three people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
So they had to take a break. Obviously, he couldn't go on. This kid's your son's age. He went with his buddies to a protest. He took a medical bag with him, a first aid kit. He had a gun with him. Probably shouldn't have crossed state line, right? To go to a protest with a gun. Probably a bad idea. That kid is 18 years old. They had him down on the ground. They had guns pointed at him, and one had already hit him in the head with a skateboard. I don't even know why we're even here talking about this.
Well,
I don't even know why this trial is going on.
Well,
it's sick and
a
it's
political
wrong.
trial. It's a political trial.
And you know what they're doing in Kenosha? They're preparing for riots, because if he's found not guilty, they expect Kenosha to burn.
Again, by the illegals.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I mean, there's so much there.
While 5 people were shot in Rochester last night, nobody cares because
5-hour safety courses. There's so much to unpack there. I mean, here's the thing. What was going on in the country at the time, of course, is entirely relevant here, right? I mean,
Sure.
there was an entire city burning to the ground. There were cities, including Rochester, New York, that were under assault and attack.
Absolutely.
All over the country, this was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here you have a kid. And oh, by the way, the police in all of these cities were given the marching orders, right? And the irony is they were given marching orders to not march, right? They were told to stand down.
Stand down.
Don't defend the city.
Right. Do not.
Right?
Don't.
Which means if there are law-abiding citizens within the city limits, they're not police. They don't have guns. They don't have the ability to sit in their car and stand down. You're just Mary Smith who wants to go to Target and buy some groceries for your family. So you need to go to Target and buy groceries for your family. You don't have a badge and a gun. You can't defend yourself, right? So here's this kid who
had a gun.
Thank God he was trained by whoever, his parents, his upbringing. You know, maybe he grew up in rural Wisconsin, whatever the case might be.
Illinois, I think, right on the Wisconsin line. Yeah.
So he didn't need some stupid Joe Morelli 5-hour safety course in order to go steal his guns and ammunition and get into a turf war. He was actually raised and trained how to properly use a firearm and use it within the context of the United States Constitution, the Second Amendment. And thank God he actually had the courage and the fortitude to take that gun and go to where he went and potentially save somebody's life that the police weren't going to save. He had the right to do that. Notwithstanding the state lines issue, I don't even know one way or the other if it was a crime or not. But notwithstanding, even if that was a crime, so to speak, so freaking what? This kid was doing what the police were told not to do.
Exactly.
And
protect someone himself.
Yeah, and by all measures, he did it competently and legally and heroically, quite frankly.
But the kid's life is ruined.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
ruined.
you forget it, right? The kid's life.
Well, look at his testimony. Look at how he couldn't even speak. So
he'll never be.
Thank God for
no one will ever hire him.
He's an American patriot.
How he is, and it was all self-defense, and they not guilty. 17, 18-year-old. He has PTSD. Well, I don't know. He certainly has trauma.
Not guilty.
I mean, it's a traumatic situation. But here's what's going to happen if they find him not guilty. And, I was listening to some talking head this morning. They're already bringing in, extra barricades for when this ends and the jury comes back with a verdict. Because they know what's going to happen.
And the next 18-year-old American patriots will hopefully step up and protect America because the police won't be allowed to because they're.
I mean, Antifa is probably on their way to Kenosha as we speak to do major damage. And again,
they're texting each other. They're rallying the troops on social media.
It's sad what this kid has been put through. That if the prosecutor would have looked at things the right way, he would have said, "Okay, there's no case here. It was clearly self-defense." Right. So we're not going to bring charges, but he didn't do that.
One other interesting point is, so that kid takes the stand, the so-called victim, right? The one who got his arm
blown off,
vaporized.
Yeah, vaporized or whatever they said. Yeah.
So now that kid takes the stand. I certainly, I don't want to say hope because I don't really give a shit, but from a legal standpoint, I hope that he had an attorney in the room when he was providing this testimony because his testimony in that video expose him to a felony charge now, right? Because in reality, that's what the prosecutors and the police should have done in the first place.
Right.
Is they would have examined what really happened, what's being revealed in this trial, and that guy should have been charged with a crime.
Yeah.
With menacing or attempted assault or attempted murder or whatever the case might be.
Right.
And now he's taken the stand and he's testified under oath that he pointed his gun at this kid who's clearly laying on the ground. And he's pointing a gun and brandishing a weapon at him.
Exactly.
So he gets charged now.
And who even knows if it was a legal weapon? Again,
Yeah,
we're back. We're back to
exactly.
that. We're back
Well,
to the beginning.
in my opinion, all guns are legal.
Where ban idiots, not guns. Ban idiots, not guns. How many shootings in the city of Rochester tonight, you think? Anybody?
How about since we started the show? I'm going to go, the over-under is 1.1.5.
I'll go 2.
For tonight?
So I'm going to go
Tom,
under.
two?
I'm going to go under then. I'm going to take the under.
I'll take the under.
2. All right.
$10.
All right. That's going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network. We've had some fun today, including a camera malfunction at the very. We got that straightened out though. Austin.
Yeah.
Austin, thank
That was
you.
phenomenal. He did good work.
You were, yeah.
All right, look, I don't
Look
want
at
to
Austin.
I don't want to belabor the point that I haven't even brought up yet, but what Austin did there at the beginning,
Yeah.
under the fire
Duress.
of you,
Yes.
sitting there going, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go over here? Should I go over there? Should I leave? Should I go home? Should I go back to my gated community? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh my God, the whole show's ruined.
I know.
And the poor guy's
can't-
just trying to plug one cable back in.
I know.
If you would have just given him one damn second.
If you, but that's what I do.
Should I go sit on Tom's lap? What should I do? Oh my
and all I
God.
can think of is you could just have my spot. I'm not going to say anything.
You know, that's what I do when stuff like that happens. In fact, when I used to be at the radio station and stuff would break
Can
down.
we just get over that by now?
No, I know, right?
Oh, I heard
Honestly.
the stories about what happened at the radio station when shit broke down. All
When
right.
shit broke down, I'd lose my ever loving freaking mind. And I do the same thing to my husband. Rich will tell
Poor
you
Rich.
that little thing that happened is just a Kimberly.
Just a Kimberly.
It's just
That's what we'll call it from now on. It's just a Kimberly.
It's just a
We
Kimberly.
have, so now we have just Tom and just a Kimberly.
Right.
All right, very good.
So wait a minute.
That's a
so,
good place to end.
So by just wanting to be my name, Tom, meaning that now it's an anti-woke statement,
Mhm.
but just wanting to be called Tom, am I actually woke now by having an anti-woke statement? Because I
don't even know what you just said.
Joe Biden, take a pill.
We appreciate all of our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. Please support them. Call Taylor 500 Help,
What?
Vantuzzo's Acupuncture, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden. Tom?
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit fantuzzoacupuncture.com to book online today. fantuzzoacupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 Help.